People, welcome to Never a Foul. We're going to be breaking down the Premier League games and news that have featured in as well today, including Cody Gakpo being out for several weeks for Liverpool, resulting of the Spurs game on the weekend, and also going to debate a little bit of Potts about the Man City loss, what it means for Arsenal going into the week as well, since they showed down on, well, this weekend. Man United being toothless, Kobe Mino's back, Anthony back for selection as well, and then many more. I'll probably talk about the Chelsea game a little bit in depth. I might even touch on the De Zerbi thing. I think that's quite an interesting topic since he got battered 6-1. Oh yeah, in other Premier League news, Southampton beat Leeds. Oh wait.
I like it. I like what you did, mate. You can have your moment. Do you know what, right? We've got a genuine title race this season, Cass. How does it feel, along with Chelsea, to not even be involved in it, mate? You know, this was your time. This was your time to, you know, be in the mix. And you're in the mix down the bottom, Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
you know what? Let me get my fishing rod. There you go.
This is a genuine question, though. There's a title race this year. I'm buzzing for it.
We were never going to be in a title race in the second year. I think most people.
Oh, you said you were going to finish second, so that for me says title race.
I said second, third, fourth, fifth are going to be nowhere. Nowhere near.
I said everywhere except first. Is that what you said?
I think it's just going to run away with it early. I just don't think it's a title. Who gives a shit if you finish in second, third? I say it all the time. Finishing second, third, fourth, fifth, playing bridesmaid or playing, you know, whatever you want to do, is not a trophy. No one remembers second place. No one. Only Liverpool fans. Anyways, big up, man. Big up, Ika. I'm gonna call you Ika if you don't mind. Or let me know if I said your name right. I'm gonna try to pronounce it Ika Geng or Ika Jeng. Ika Jeng. No sympathy for Liverpool fans. No one cared when PGMOL apologized twice to Arsenal last season. They said we were making excuses. Move on like us. You know what? Yeah, I don't look. This is not a dig at Liverpool. And if you're a Liverpool fan like Mitchell and I, this ain't a dig at you personally, but you have to admit, right? When your club has had a decision wrong, you go on like the world's crashing down on you when you've been awarded the most VAR points, right? As well, by the way. And some have been also wrong for you. But when they're talking about it on Good Morning Britain, what am I watching?
Was it on Good Morning Britain? Really?
Yes. GMB. It was on GMB and they're talking about it like it's again like yeah, exactly. It's a bit mental.
I've seen people calling it the worst decision in football history. I've seen call it the biggest robbery in football history. I've seen Liverpool fans asking for a replay of the game. I've seen Liverpool fans asking for a compensation. And I've seen Liverpool fans. I'm serious, by the way. All of these are out there. I'm seeing Liverpool fan asking for not only for like resignation from people, and I was like, it happened to Arsenal just a year ago. Like it's not even a year ago, bro. It's just months ago. You know, it's the same thing. They freaking forgot to draw the lines.
And maybe this ain't down to Liverpool as a club itself, but the people that are surrounding it, that support them and everything, or something like that. The media darlings, that's what they're called. And it's just a bit cringy. That's all I wouldn't want to call it. It's a bit pathetic. Well, if anything, why is it never highlight? Like this has got nothing to do with the games, right? Potts, right? But shouldn't all of this be aimed at the referees and the referees? Yeah, do you know what I mean? How many times do we have to talk on here every other week, probably every few weeks, about a dodgy decision? This Premier League campaign is every week now.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, and it is crazy. I kind of sympathise with Liverpool fans because they're football fans and we've all had these decisions, right? I totally get it. I'm not going to start getting into debate of who's been crying louder than who. What I'm more concentrated on is the fact that these guys are incompetent. It's either corruption or incompetence or both. And when I hear stories about miscommunication, should have been a goal. I told him to give the goal. He didn't give the goal. Well, I tell you what, when he's about to take the free kick, why don't you shout in his ear and say, "Yeah, mate, did you hear that? It is a goal." Exactly. It's crazy. All these no excuses are just embarrassing. And for me, I said it last night on Lee Judge's channel, right? Why is it that we have a bunch of clowns in our country refereeing? Because what makes me laugh even more is the only decent referees in my 25, 30 years, right, of dealing with, of watching football, sorry, I probably count 4 or 5 half decent referees that I can think of. None of those are anywhere near to be seen to televisions. The only ones that get anywhere near the punditry are the hopeless ones. Mike Riley, hopeless. I'll tell you what, you now be in charge. Howard Webb, hopeless. You now be in charge. Mike Riley, Mike Dean. I'll tell you what, Mike Dean, you go sit with Soccer Saturday and be a pundit now. Peter Walton, why don't you go and sit with BT and be a pundit now? I tell you what, Dermot Gallagher, why don't you sit and do referee watch on a Sky Sports on a Monday? All these guys are clowns and they're all sticking up for each other now. So for me, when it gets to a stage of, I think he's messed that up, but let's just keep it quiet because he's one of us. He's going to have enough stick there. Let's just keep it quiet. Yeah. Is that corrupt or is that just incompetence?
Boys looking after the boys, innit? Howard Webb's an ex-cop as well, isn't he? So it's boys looking after the boys, keeping it in house. You know how it works.
I think your guys are actually taking it to a new level. It's, to be honest, the media, the people in England, in Italy, it happened to Juventus last year. It happened to Inter, and it happened to Napoli last year. And in La Liga, it happened to Barcelona last year. It happens. Mistakes happens. Malicious or not malicious, that's down to investigation. But it's not a conspiracy theory. Nothing against Liverpool. It's not again. People making it. It's the Liverpool against the world. It's not, because it happened to other clubs. Man United lost a freaking game at home, and fans asking for their manager to be sacked because of an offside goal. I don't see Man United fans saying a conspiracy theory. Man United fans are saying mistake. Why no consistency? But Liverpool Football Club putting a statement out saying it that we're going to take it to a different level. It's a robbery. I agree with everybody.
Man, I agree.
Come on, this is ridiculous. Man United Football Club didn't put a statement saying I'm going to sue the country. Yeah. Liverpool want to sue the king. They want to sue the king for this.
I mean, they don't like. I mean, they can't. They don't like the king. Remember?
That's what I mean. Like, it's ridiculous. It's the world against us. Man. This thing is ridiculous because I get it, but bro, it just happens the same day to Man United.
Yeah,
the goal that against Man United, it's shambolic. By the way, it's shambolic, that goal, because there's 2 guys in front of Onana and they didn't.
I don't want to use that as an excuse why we can't score against them, though. That's my thing. Like,
yeah,
just bring
I get it. What you're saying.
Most recent, like Mark Clattenburg was the half decent one. Who else was there back in the day? Keith Hackett was one of them. Graham Poll.
I used to love Collini. The Italian one, obviously,
Colina,
only
Colina,
But he was the goal.
Dumb, bro.
He was the goal
anymore. They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, man. I just there's a few of them, but it's the whole point is we like referees that typically favor decisions that have gone in our way during a game, right? That's been favorable for us. That's the reality of tribalism with referees. Lots of Chelsea fans might like Anthony Taylor. I can't stand the bastard. Do you get what I mean? So, but yeah, anyways, enough of the referees.
Kalina, man. Kalina was the number one for far away.
If we dip into this Spurs Liverpool game, I haven't obviously spoke to you, Joe, and obviously Potts since last week. But what did you boys make of the game? Because it seems to be going around and around the same thing over and over again, that, you know, Luis Diaz's goal would have changed the whole game. But in my opinion, it doesn't. I think Spurs still go on and still get some sort of result. But it's a shame because Son still scores straight afterwards. They still score an own goal at the end of the game. Who said? Do you get what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say it is a robbery in terms because they would have went 1-0 up, but the red cards would have still have happened.
I think you know what. In my opinion, yeah, you're probably right, but I just think on the balance of the game, although you know, Spurs win the game, I think Liverpool can come away from it still with
a point
really
at least.
Happy. Yeah, well, really happy though as well. Though I think it just in terms of the performance. Even though they dropped points, for me, I think they still played to a sufficient level, especially when you consider they've got 9 men. Yeah, they look a different team again for me, to Liverpool, and I think you know, that's what I'm saying about this title race. I think there's going to be a few teams in it come the end of the season. It's looking good, man. And as a neutral watching the Premier League, I'm excited.
Thing is, for me, like I thought Spurs would beat Liverpool. I said that was my prediction. I actually predicted them to win 2-1. I didn't think they'd win it like that, but I did think Liverpool would lose that game. But it's crazy because actually it has ruined the game. It has ruined that game for me. People will say, no, it hasn't. It was a stunner. It was a last minute winner. It was brilliant. It had everything. It was drama. But actually, that could have been an absolute cracker with 11v11. I really think that would have been very, very interesting to see which way that would have gone. And I think that Liverpool can hold their heads up high and say we defended with all of our might, did not deserve that ending. Very, very unfortunate and very unlucky. But for me, personally, and this is just me, I do feel that the officiating has completely ruined that game. Because for me, you can talk about the red card. That's debatable for me, the Curtis Jones one. You can actually have a genuine debate about that,
Really?
right?
Really?
You know, you can have a debate about that. Some people will go, it's a straight red. Some people will say, absolutely not.
Let's
You
have a
can
debate
debate
about
that for me,
No debate.
right?
Let's debate
But
about it.
for me, the Jota one, the first yellow card is nonsense, if I'm
It's
honest.
stupid.
And the second one, obviously, he's an idiot for doing that. And then obviously you got the Diaz situation with the goal. But for me, the officiating was that poor that it's kind of ruined it. But yeah, but debate it if you want. Like for me, you go for it. What did you think? The Curtis Jones. What did you think?
Oh, Casemiro got sent off for exactly the same thing, pretty much. So I'm going with, and I think it's less. It wasn't as just as bad because his foot actually rolls halfway over the ball to go to the guy's leg. So I call it consistency. That was whether he didn't mean it. Curtis Jones is not a player that goes and means to hurt a player, not by any means. It's just one of them unfortunate ones. He could have broke his leg, right? That means you produced a tackle that was not great, in my opinion, right? And it's unlucky. That's all I'm going to call it. It's just unlucky. It's an unlucky situation. Of course, he didn't mean it. And to be fair, man, he's lucky, but assuming he didn't break his leg. But if we're going to go off consistency, I would have, if he didn't get sent off, I would have been outraged that we got Casemiro got sent off for, imagine that, Southampton. So yeah, it is what it is. It's the same thing with Rodri. If Rodri never got sent off, when Casemiro done, you could say the same thing. It's that this time you grabbed him around the collar, but you can't see because of the gloves. It's consistency. That's the only thing you can give to the refs, is that they were consistent with that. The only thing I kind of annoyed with the referees, I thought they were a bit too yellow happy for the Liverpool players, kind of deep in it going into the game. How many yellows did they get all over the gaff? I was watching over. I'm like, wow, like, is that really a foul? Is that really a yellow? That's a bit mental. And even in our game, I was watching it live at Old Trafford. You know, the time wasted on the ball from the goalkeepers. Wow, Johnson should have got sent off. Actually, Will Hughes should have got sent off for kicking the ball away. Why didn't he get another yellow card for that? For kicking the ball away? I don't understand it. That's when it comes to inconsistency. So it is what it is. I personally think if it was me, Casemiro wasn't a red, and I don't think Curtis Jones, if it was me, was a red. But if you're talking about today's game and the rules, that's a red, right, Mo? No?
100%. Listen, 100%, 150% red. You go over the ball, there is a force, you caught the ball, you roll the foot, and it caught the ankle, could have broken the leg. Intention isn't a factor here in making a decision. When you go tackle somebody, even if it's not malicious, and if your foot is high and you catch them on the shin or something, your intention wasn't to hurt them, but you just caught them. It's 100% red. I know it's unlucky, and I said that before. It's unlucky, as Cass said, but by the law, it's freaking red. It could have broken his leg in half. It's done. It's red. And people complain about showing the picture of it. They showed him the video from different angles, and it looks like a red. And I've seen it 50 times. It looks like a red. If that happened to your player, you would be asking for a red card for the opposition.
Why didn't Basuma get sent off? That just reminded me. He hit Endo in the face.
He did it with the so the rule. Okay, so the unspoken rule is that when you hit somebody in the face by protecting yourself with your hands up, with your palm, it's not a red card.
That's hands above where it shouldn't need to be.
No. He's protecting himself, like he's pushing the player. It actually happened to one of our players yesterday. He got a yellow card for it. It's the same.
Exactly. So why didn't he get a second yellow to get sent off?
Because I don't think there's a force on it. He was just putting his hand up. Nobody gives a red for that. If your hand is closed, you put it's a red card. Nobody complain about that red. I actually disagree with the second yellow for Jota. The first yellow is 100% yellow for me, even though there was no intention. It's stopping counter attack. He didn't mean it. He tripped on him and all the stuff. But I thought that Simon Hooper, as Cass said, was so quick, like he couldn't wait to send him off. I'm like, you just gave him a yellow. There were five. There was 5 defenders of Liverpool still behind the ball when Jota lost that ball because he was the highest guy on that right side. Where was your doggy gonna go? And you tackled them. The foot was not high. I saw sometimes he was too quick to give the yellow. too quick to give the second yellow. I know people think it's stupid tackle, but it does not deserve a second yellow. Cody what's his name? Jota does not deserve a second yellow, especially
for me,
second yellow in a minute.
See, for me, so I'm with Eddie in the chat who says the red card's not even the worst thing about the game. I don't know why we're talking about it. I'm with him there because that weren't the worst part of the game. That one, as I said, some people who like they did Casemiro, definite red, nah, it weren't. Definite red, nah, it weren't. That can be a debate all day. Oh, did he mean it? Did he not? I actually disagree with Mo. I think the first yellow was madness. How the hell is Jota supposed to get a yellow card with that? When the geezer, actually, when you slow it down, clips his actual foot. That's the reason he's gone down.
Oh, he hit his knee. He hit his knee. That's what you do. He hit his knee. So the reason why Udogie tripped himself is that his back foot hit his knee. But anyway, long story short, it looked in the yellow. In the real time, the referee doesn't see it, and there's no VAR in the yellow. He saw someone running. He saw someone clipping someone on a counter attack. It looks like a yellow card. Jota didn't even complain about that. The second one is mad. Jota said he didn't touch him. I replayed it. I replayed it many times in slow motion. Jota didn't even touch you, doggy. Didn't even touch him, by the way. But again, I don't know. Simon Hooper, all the 50-50s, as Cass said, he was on Liverpool's back. He was like, I want Liverpool to. It's ridiculous, to be honest. Like, it's absolutely
the
ridiculous.
offside one is inexcusable. I don't care.
But we can't talk about the offside. Do you know why? I think we cannot talk about the offside because it's a talking point until you say it wasn't by choice. It was incompetence. You can have it's incompetence or conspiracy theory. It's either they did it on purpose or it's incompetence. And I hate to say it's a conspiracy theory. It's incompetence then.
I saw that the VAR blamed the actual ref on the pitch. Simon Hooper. I that's what I saw online. Like they actually blamed him because they were going with his decision, so they didn't bother. They just thought it was automatically offside, so they didn't bother.
But do you know what happened? They said no. So let me just add one point about that, because yesterday a video circled from a fan that said the big screen showed that the decision is no goal offside and VAR checking the offside. So how are the people in the room thinking the on field decision is onside? That's what I'm talking. That's corruption. Because there was no picture of the big screen. The big screen showed the decision on the pitch is offside, no goal. So you're checking if he's offside or onside, and you saw that he's onside. You should have told him.
Don't you think then, Joe? Like clubs have the actual power in the league. The league don't have the power when you deep it. If all the clubs were to come together and complain about the refereeing of late, surely that makes a big change. Because every year they keep making up their own rules for this country. When Europe's got it, I'm not saying Europe's the greatest, but Champions League and even
with the offside, bro. In Champions League and stuff, you have the AI stuff that we've seen at the World Cup, right? The Premier League, the Premier League said no, we don't want it. Why? Why? Exactly. And this, and I get everyone's talking about VAR, but VAR's not the problem in this situation. It's the numpties that are using it. Do you know what I mean? It's the people that are controlling the VAR. Whether you like it or not, VAR actually wasn't the problem, especially with this offside. It was the case of if they'd have used it correctly, they'd have seen he was onside. Do you know what I mean? So it's more the people that are running it. And listen, Mike Dean came out, didn't he, and said the other week, oh, I didn't make an on-field decision because I didn't want to get my mate in bother. That's what you're dealing with. Someone else needs to come in, an outside organisation. You know, like say, if a company does something, they get it outside in-house, so no one's got any sort of allegiances, because basically they're all looking after each other, and that's the fact. And it almost feels like you said, Mo, they've concocted this story as to what's actually happened.
Yes.
When in actual fact, it's been an absolute failure. And again, it's just the people that are, because to be honest, I was quite impressed, like when Howard Webb went on Monday Night Football and all that, and I'm thinking, okay, we're starting to see behind the scenes actually, but it's still broken. It's still broken. Just what I don't understand is why they didn't want to bring in this AI technology for the offside. It makes the fucking job easier. Is it because they want to make sure they've got more jobs and therefore still in, getting a pay packet and all this stuff? Yeah, it might sound like a conspiracy theory, but this is all you have to, because surely if it improves the decisions on the pitch and gives you less work to do, you fucking do it. Why does the Premier League have to go, nah, we don't need that? you know, we don't need that. We're cool. They're idiots, man.
It's pathetic. You know what though? Away from the crappy decisions, right? Before we get into it, I'll do the super chats. But should we not credit Tottenham a little bit as well? We're doing them a little bit injustice. Sorry, done a tie there. Yeah, like the Mickey Van der Vens and stuff. Let me do these super chats. Omar says mistakes keep happening regardless. Needs a stand 100 million%. Because see, stuff like that can really F your mental health throughout the week. You know, you could just be annoyed for 2 days, go slap up the wife a little bit. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. Jamrock says, you guys are thinking in a vacuum. That bad decision calls into the integrity of the game if the VAR is always following the game on a pitch. I say, yeah, just get rid of VAR. Just have it for finals and World Cup and Euros.
Disagree
and
completely with you.
I just don't think it should be used
I actually disagree
whatsoever.
With you completely.
I think it's pathetic. Omar says you can't say goal or not. Jota gets red. No way. Nonsense. Tumper Lion says funny thing is I don't know Spuds has so much hate for Liverpool. Oh my god, afterwards. But to be fair, they brought up a good case, man. If you saw those decisions in different games. One win and they're producing dossiers of 50-50 decisions that they claim went against them. XY says, are VAR watching the game? Can we have international VAR ref? I think he's saying. And then Omar says, I full respect to Goldbridge. Gary Neville U-turn with a poo face. Look, the thing is with this, Goldbridge so smart, right? If Man United won, he wouldn't have came out with that. If Man United were getting decisions, he wouldn't have come out with that. The guy's smart. For every 10 shit takes, he actually says what he wants, actually is on his mind. But yeah, so he gets you man involved. But yeah,
man. First of all, guys, there's over 700 of you here. The like button goes a long way. You guys in the chat, hit that like button. It looks like thumbs up underneath your live chat. Close the live chat, hit that like button, get us to 250 likes. It's easy. This is free content. It does not cost you a penny. So come on, hit that like button. Don't be cheap. It's simple. It looks like this.
Can I just say quickly, guys, as well, just before we move on from the VAR thing? For me, right, if let's say I've seen something and I've texted Joe and I was like, "Oh, Joe, did you see it? Yeah, man. Have you seen it again? No, I haven't yet. Go watch it again." He watches it again and he comes back to me and says, "Oh yeah, blimey." Now, if I said to him, "Joe, go watch that again and call me when you're about to watch it." Right, Joe calls me. Yeah, Potsy, right, I'm watching it. What is it? Right, watch this clip, mate. Watch this right there. Watch that there. Could you see that clip? Oh, I didn't see that before. Yeah, watch it now. That's definitely a penalty, isn't it, bro? You're then got these voices in your ears. This guy should come over to the screen, go penalty. Just let me go and check it. No shouting, raving at him. I'm going to go check it. Go check it. Look at the screen. Yeah. Zero voices in your head. Right, I've called that a penalty. Is that a penalty? Yeah. I'm going to stick with it. I think that is a penalty. None of this, but did you see this toe that was inside? Do you think that's come off his body? Do you think that handball should have been? Look, it's come off his knee first. Oh, yeah. And then you get another absolute nosher in the background as well going, yeah, I saw that as well, Dave. I saw that as well. Just shut the hell up. Let this guy watch it again and make a decision. He's the referee. He decides. He's given the decision. He goes and watches the screen with no fucking voices in his ears and he makes a decision again. That's what's got to happen for me, man. You can't have these Stockley Park Muppets all getting involved. It's pathetic.
The so-called experts, right? The so-called experts. But talk about Tottenham a little bit though, Joe, if you don't mind. Like who impressed you?
Mate, I just think the whole setup, really, the whole team. I think the main man's got to be obviously Ange Postecoglou, hasn't it? Because what he's done in such a short space of time is turn them into a good side, man. I know first and foremost what's most like.
So you're saying typically Ange is the one that
yeah, definitely for sure. And I like Destiny Udogie as well. I think they've been a bit.
His name, by the way, is it Udogie?
Udogie, yeah.
Udogie.
Just call him Destiny's Child, man.
Yeah, Destiny, yeah. No, they're a good side. And obviously Son now playing in the 9 as well. I think it's mad because you've got to ask the question, ain't you? Is Harry Kane not being there actually like a monkey off their back and therefore they can play more freely as a team and all that sort of stuff? And I'm not sure I agree with that sentiment because obviously if Harry Kane was in the positions, he's fine in the back of the net. But I guess a lot of Spurs fans were worried. But look, in such a short space of time, they've turned it around. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get later on in the season. But at the minute, they're flying, and I've really enjoyed watching them. To be fair, I think it's been good, especially when you consider how shit they've been for the last few years, playing terrible football under these so-called elite managers. That, listen, their days are done. I think maybe them dinosaur type managers. But yeah, it's nice to see, mate. I think they're doing bits, and the more teams doing better, the better for me, because it just makes it more exciting. You know, it makes it more exciting. The league more unpredictable, which is what we like, I think. And I think the fact that, you know, at the top end, with what have we got, like 4 or 5 teams within a point of each other? Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, City.
What do you think the aim here, though, for Spurs? What do you think that? Yeah, do you think it's a game by game?
Champions League.
Just like so a game by game, and we see what.
But I don't think more before the season started that any Spurs fans or anyone in the boardroom could have said to Ange, "Get me top 4 or top 5."
Of course.
But now it's like, okay, and that comes with a different kind of pressure as well, because I think, does Daniel Levy go again in January with hopes, listen, we could get top 5? So there's all these things. Ange's come into a situation, yes, he's done amazing, but confidence, expectations was on the floor. So
if I'm Spurs, I'm not looking at Champions League like that, because I've seen them in Newcastle. They established the way they want to play. They fast-tracked to the Champions League, and now they can't, like, as much as Newcastle could come back into form, so I'm not going to write them off too early, it's the squad size. Do I believe in, personally, as a guy looking out, looking in, do I believe Daniel Levy's going to supply Ange with the players that he wants to go further forward? So even if they get something like 5th or 6th to Europa and build that style in less competition, that's less hectic, I would say, I think that's also what would be good for Spurs. Like, walk before you can run, right? They're crawling at the moment. They're going to be walking soon in their hopes, and not in Arsenal fans' hopes, and then they can run. If you fast track it, all of a sudden they've got high pressure games, high intensity. It's going to be the same conversation. Can he manage? And it's the same crap over and over again.
But you can ask Dan the question here. Dan, last year, before the season started, what was your target? Just get Champions League football. Did you expect
Arsenal to do that
for Arsenal? For Arsenal,
yeah, of course. It was to ensure that we had Champions League football and win a trophy. That was my.
When you found yourself going on a run, playing beautiful football, winning games convincingly, what did you say? No, I want more. So
absolutely.
So I think this is where Spurs are. They're like taking it game by game.
Tottenham won a trophy for me this season. They only got FA Cup that they're going to want. They want a trophy. You ask Tottenham, they want trophies. Some of them are deluded enough to say, "Oh, I'd rather just not bother and just play pretty football and get 5th or in the Champions League again." That's losers mentality for me, man. You always got to win a trophy. So for me, Tottenham have been bantered for years about not winning trophies. I disagree with Joe. I don't think it's nice to see, because I'm a gooner, so I can't stand Tottenham. But I understand where he's coming from in terms of the neutral. He wants to see everyone up there. For me, I think there's one player that has completely transformed him, and that's James Maddison. He has been outstanding. And I understand that Bissouma is now playing, but he was already there. Now, if you look at it, Tottenham have had a great start, really great start. How much different are they from last year? Unbelievably different in terms of their style of play. How much points difference is there? None. They're exactly the same position as they were last year. So that means that as much as they were great, there's a points difference that is absolutely none. So it could still drop off at Tottenham.
I think there needs some context in that, though, because last year...
No, there is context. There is context. They've got one game a week, and if they get an injury, they're screwed. Because if Maddison gets out, they got Lo Celso. If Bissouma goes out, they got Winks. No, not Winks. What's his name? Højbjerg or Skip. If Son comes out, who they got? So it works both ways, man. Everyone talks about Arsenal's lack of depth and Liverpool's lack of depth. Tottenham have got a lack of depth as well, man.
You have to apply more than that. You have to apply more than that, because last year I remember conversations over that this football is not sustainable. They were winning 1-0s and stuff like that, right? You can clearly see the type of goals they were scoring, relying on Harry Kane, etc., where you could say this football's clearly, especially against the bigger sides as well, they're blowing teams away with loads of goals. They're still scoring in games where it's 1-1. You'd think they drop points and then they'll go and score at the end. You could say this football's definitely sustainable in that sense. If
they keep their players fit, absolutely.
The thing is, you say Maddison transformed the squad. Of course he has, but I'll say Bissouma has, because without Bissouma, Maddison can't do what he wants to do. That's why the DM is so important.
Yeah,
in
both
today's
of them
game.
have been class, man.
But tit for tat though, I think it's
Pepe
both.
Matisar has been quality as well, by the way.
I don't rate him too much, I'll be honest.
No,
No, he has been good though. But listen, they've all had the good starts. You know, Destiny you've mentioned, fair play. The goalkeepers come in, the centre back partnership has looked good. Poro's looked a lot better. He still can't defend, but going forward, he's good. And then obviously you've got the link up play between Basuma and Maddison. But for me, they are paper thin, man. Paper thin.
Yeah,
so Champions League, yeah. Champions League's all good, but when I hear they're going on a title race now, when they beat Liverpool with 9 men on a last-minute own goal, just calm down a little bit. Just calm down a little bit.
Is it? Do you see a world, Dan, where Spurs finish ahead of Arsenal this season?
Well, they've done it before, but not this season. I don't see it this season. No, I don't, because I just feel like they are so paper thin that if people talk about Arsenal being paper thin in 4 competitions, Spurs, wow. I mean,
well, talking of Arsenal, for May, 4th of May, we'll see how good you really play in that, mate. Is what Faraz is saying, or Faraz. Talking of Arsenal and not being paper thin, Arteta put one over everyone's eyes about the injuries. Clearly, no one looks injured to me. You wiped Bournemouth away, and I'm not talking as in like a quick little 2-3-0. You looked all right, scored. You smashed them from minute 0 to minute 90. Now that's the Arsenal that I would say I saw last year, and it clicked. Havertz or no Havertz, I don't get the hate on him. I thought he had, from what I could see, he done everything well. His role was literally break up the play, get the ball back, and move it on. Done. Simple job, easy 8 job, right? And that's the way I look at it. They gave him a penalty, which I don't get the hate. Like when your confidence is low, you want to give a guy a goal. It's happened over years and years and years of football, from what I remember. You give a striker that hasn't scored in ages a goal. Arsenal were sensational, bots. Sensational. Like you can't. There's no hate on that part. They were great. Transition, smooth, fast, and exactly what you needed. And you buy it before you know it, you're 3-0 up.
Yeah, listen, we were, and I can't sit there and say we were up against the Bournemouth side that are flying, because they're struggling, and their new manager's coming in, and if it looks like to me it's going to take him a little bit longer. A lot of people had Bournemouth being sort of 12th, 11th, 13th this season. Yeah. It's not looking that way right now. It could change. I thought we were immense. I thought we were great. And we can talk about Martin Ødegaard if you want as a man of the match performance in terms of being involved in pretty much everything, scoring penalties, assisting, getting involved, giving the penalty to Kai Havertz as a captain's decision. Thought that was class from him. And I was a bit nervous. I was like, please don't miss this now. Like, if you miss this now, this is not going to look good on you. But he put it away. Apparently, he scored 18 out of 18 penalties. I didn't know that. We looked at the stats. Or it might be 18 out of 20.
Yeah, I was fuming, man. I've got Saka in my fantasy team. I was like, penalty. What are you
doing? Mate. That's the thing. I got Ødegaard.
I had to play Chris Basham because I got Martinelli injured. Trent, that was 50-50 on there. And only I had left is Matt Turner and what's the name? Basham. And I was like, oh, just stick Basham in, man. It was, whatever, man. It's actually annoying.
Listen, they were outstanding. Eddie, to be fair to him, had a much better game than he did in North London Derby. Jesus worked tirelessly. Defensively, again, Arsenal away from home looked comfortable. But for me, man, I have to mention this guy again. Declan Rice is just unreal, mate. He is unreal. Like, just so effortless. It wasn't even like out of first gear, mate. It was just so easy for him. I just really like what I'm seeing from the lad, and no one. It's going to be interesting for me when.
Is he better than Partey yet? Is he better than Partey yet? Can we draw a line under it and say he is?
Joe, as a footballer, I actually think he is. But when it comes to that position at Arsenal,
let's go.
Let's go. I think Thomas Partey. As a footballer, I think in that position, Thomas Partey has just been immense. So that's why people will mention it. As a footballer, I think Declan Rice can do pretty much everything, man. He is absolutely insane. But I just wanted to mention that because for me, I've heard today Partey's in training. He's going to be fit for Man City. Saka is in training. He's going to be fit for Man City. Trossard in training, going to be fit for Man City. Martinelli, ? We don't know about, but they're saying that he was nearly ready to be on the bench. So I'm hoping he could be fit for Man City. And they've got no Rodri and KDB, man. If there's any chance, we have to beat them. We literally have to. If we want a title, we have to beat Man City. There's none of this losing or even drawing. We have to go.
In the league. This is your chance. This is your chance to go above them in the league.
Exactly.
we can talk on a Man City. This is probably even though it was. I don't really want to take it away from Arsenal because it's only been a few minutes, but this is going to be.
They're very like together. You know, it's the same.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Can talk
I mean,
how a team was so fluid against the team and how the other team without one of the key players wasn't that good. Didn't look great.
Yeah. I was going to say, Mo, like they lost 1-0 yesterday. Daps is not happy. Hamza's not yesterday, the other day. Hamza making excuses as well, like this and that. You can see without Rodri, they are lacking. We always talk about their squad, and this is what Daps always goes on about with. They got a small squad. They have got a lot of injuries as well, but no Rodri. Obviously, the pivot has been formed for the first time, and if they, in respect to their manager, he's the perfect man to solve that issue come on Friday. But as a Arsenal fan, with all your injuries coming back and everything, this must give you mad hope. More than it was last week.
Can we just establish something about before that about the injuries though? Do you guys know how many players injured for Man City?
Bernardo, John Stones, who are just
5 or 6.
KDB,
just 3.
3.
That was 3.
Just 3. And that's that what happened that last game remind me of when we talk about Chelsea and the experience on the pitch. There was not a lot of people that are experienced in that Pep system other than Phil Foden, maybe Julian Alvarez, who didn't play as much last year as like started and things. John Stones wasn't there. Bernardo Silva, look at the experience that was missing. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and John Stones. And I thought that they really like adding Doku was fantastic. He had 76 touches. He tried every time. Nelson Semedo, and they were doubling on him. But that notion that Man City have a lot of injuries isn't a lot. It's not real. The problem is the value of the players. And that's different than last year. Foden was injured most of the season last year, and they were all right. When KDB got injured, they looked all right. I think this year, and also Rodri,
right?
Yeah, and Rodri being out, I thought they were, in terms of composure, they were kind of a little bit, it wasn't there. Composure, being calm, it wasn't there.
There's a lot.
It is something I noticed.
Yeah, and when you on top of that, think about Mahrez and you think about Gundogan, who've experience and title race and all this. Yes. It's a lot of leadership taken out of the squad, to be fair, and it can have a knock-on effect. And listen, it's far too early to say, but out of the Carabao Cup, okay, we're not bothered about the Carabao Cup. That's what City fans will say. But if we're being real, they wouldn't have minded a quad, first time ever, and then they lose in the league as well. So
you know what, this is where it goes back. I'm not going to be overreactionary, but this is where even Daps probably, we've done a video yesterday and we clipped it up and stuff like this is where you miss your Gundawans. This is where you might miss some Mahrez. This is the experience part of the game. By the way, I've done some research into this as well. So last time Pep Guardiola lost 3 in a row was back in 2020 for the first time in his career. All 3 of those games were away from home. Recently just lost his 1-0 to Newcastle. Recently just lost 2-1 to Wolves. Arsenal, you can set that record again for the second time potentially as well. If there's anything, what Wolves showed, if you can do the low block quite well, you can have success. And I think if Arsenal maybe are not too naive to it, because they will keep the ball better than you guys potentially. But it's kind of interesting to see how Arteta may set up. But it is at home at the Emirates, and you do need to break that duct of losing to them all the time.
Listen, if everyone's fit, we'll play our best 11 for the first time this season. And that will be that, and we haven't been able to do that. We've had no chance to do that, which means it will be Rayo, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Rice, and Erdegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus. That is a sick team, man. That's a sick first 11 anyway. We've still got the players on the bench to come on from that as well. Obviously, if Trossard's fit, we'll have him. It might even be that Trossard starts and Martinelli's on the bench, if that's the case. Obviously, then you can talk about the Vieiras and Smith-Rowes and Havertz and Nelsons and the guys that have been playing at the moment. So for me, it's a great chance to play them. Great chance to beat them. Good time to play them after being a little bit low confidence. I'm sure they'll kick up that confidence a bit midweek in the Champions League, but it's still a good time. And for me, without Rodri, who I think is probably one of their best players, if not one of the most important players, and without KDB as well, it's a good time, man. So we have to beat them. Like literally, we have to beat Man City at home. We just have to now. It's time for Mikel Arteta to finally beat Pep Guardiola in the league, because we've only ever done it in the FA Cup. We've been hammered by them before. Hammered. So
if John Stones and Bernardo are not back, I think you're favourites for the game.
They are back. They should be coming
They're
back.
100% back.
Let me double check. Let me double check that part.
Yeah, I heard they could be back.
Their return dates are, from what I can read or quickly scan, is that
I'm looking at it.
But Guardiola said that he's an unknown potential day. John Stones could be returning against Leipzig. Bernardo Silva. The difference is if Bernardo Silva, even though it's unknown, if he does come back, he's one of them players that can just slot in. Like he's just.
I think Bernardo Silva's back. I think Bernardo Silva's fit.
I think he's fit, but John Stones is rumored to play on Wednesday against Leipzig away.
All right.
So in obviously Champions League, that's Europe. But yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. We might as well move on to the shit show of the other part of Manchester in the West.
Hooray!
Let's talk on it. Let's talk on it,
man. You guys, I hate you. Like, this is what I mean. Yeah, every time I come on this show, allow it.
Worst start in 34 years, I'm told.
Whatever. We break records every day for the right and wrong reasons. Speak your shit.
Are you 10 Hag out yet, Kaz? You still sticking by him?
No chance. I'm not like you, man, that wanted Arteta out straight away after his second year.
What needs to happen for that to change? Do you have to lose another 3 in a row or something?
He needs to grow some balls, I think, in terms of all right. I've said it probably a few times on there, and I don't want to bore people, but I've said it like this: is Bruno and Rashford affected the tempo of the game. So it wasn't so much of the defense, it wasn't the goalkeeper, and to be honest, it wasn't so much the defensive side of the midfield. We dominated the game in terms of possession, but when it came to moments to actually put someone in on goal, Højlund made a good few runs in the first half, got ignored by Rashford, especially Rashford. Pelestri didn't control the ball correct, but he actually had a decent game. It was just moments of that was annoying, and the transition of moving it left to right. From what we saw on Tuesday compared to Saturday, was if you move the ball left to right, you can pick moments a lot quicker and a lot easier, and you can create a lot more chances. And you can definitely see that through Rashford. And this is why I say I don't blame the manager, but I will get onto him if he doesn't start having some.
Bro, why change it after Palace? Why change it after Palace midweek?
Mo asked me, what would you do? What would you change? I said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it one thing. The only thing they brought in was their defenders, their centre backs, who I thought. They didn't really have I thought they were solid, but there were moments where they were, they were open and we just didn't take the chance. Højlund could have maybe done better with a chance as well, but he was starving.
This guy in the chat saying you miss Anthony. What? That guy, he's shocked. There might be a player on the right, Cass, but he is absolutely diabolical, man.
This is why I say, sometimes there's players that know how to fit the system and do the base. Sometimes it's just doing basics well. Like, it's just normal, doing your passes, keep recycling, keeping it moving. You know what? My sample size for Anthony for this season was when Nottingham Forest parked the bus after 2-0, and he was our best player going forward. That was different. So in them moments, but this is what I mean.
If miss Anthony, then you're in bigger trouble than I even.
You guys go ahead, Cass. Go ahead.
This is the issue for me. Yeah, this is the issue for me. There might be names on the bench that sound great, but if you can't fit what the manager wants to actually kind of achieve to do and not supply where it needs to be supplied to go and get a result, then I don't care how crap you are, as long as you do what he asks. Because Rashford was so ill-disciplined.
So why didn't Hannibal keep his place? Because he's had 2 good games on the spin. He must be doing what's asked.
Football politics. Bruno should be also getting dropped. He was moving the ball so slow. When it got to Rashford, every time it got to Rashford, slowed down. He made stupid decision again and again. This is why when I look towards it, the last how many years, especially when Bruno's come in, every manager's tried to play they want to play has had to play part the bus and hopefully counter-attack. Jose Mourinho, that's his style of football, but guess what? They stopped running from Oli. It was free-flowing at first. In the end, to suit Rashford and Bruno, who he did bring in as well, play counter-attack. Because every time we try to play expansive football, you can actually see who not the footballers are on the pitch. And Casemiro as well.
Bro, Cass, at which point do we say, though, but they're not his players? He's still dealing with all the deadwood from before. At the end of the day, I'm just coming to a Spurs side and gone, okay, I've added a few bits, but it looks completely different. Whereas I'm hearing that, I still can't play the style that he wants. He's still going to have to play this counter-attack because we've still got X, Y, Z.
Yeah, but it's not down to...
I'm not sure I buy it.
It wasn't down to tactics.
But he didn't. He didn't pick counter-attack, Joe.
But what I'm saying is, though, are we going to see this attacking play that we're expected to see from Erik ten Hag?
But this is why I say when you go look at the game in moments where we should have threaded the ball, like the staff on the bench were fuming at Rashford. They all got up and they were pissed off. You can see it. Like it was weird. The top reds are starting to turn on Rashford as well. The whole stand hated Rashford, and I've never heard that in a stadium before because they're realizing who can play football and who can't. He can't play football when you want to break down the team that's in part of us.
Where are you finishing this season, Kaz? Where are you finishing?
At this moment of time, no comment.
Second.
I
still remember.
Do you guys know one of the things that I said about Man United is that I feel like Bruno and Rashford, they want the carpet underneath them and not underneath anybody. They want the spotlight in the game, especially in the game, not outside the game, not the media. I'm talking about in the game. Everything, Bruno wants everything to go through him. Marcus Rashford wants to be the guy that dribbles, puts his head down, and then try to go at players. So it is something that it doesn't suit this style of play. You'll need to move the ball quicker. You'll need to actually get everybody involved. And now you have this guy, Amrabat, who can play next to Casemiro, inverting and get everybody involved and play from the back. I'm not sure. To be honest, there is no answer for Man United. If anybody sit here and tell me there is an answer for Man United, there's no answer. Because Bruno Fernandes is the most creative player. This is a fact. But he doesn't play for the team as much as the other players. He sacrifices runs and all of this. But his output in a system like that isn't great, which is, I don't know what the answer is. To get somebody else, maybe sell, maybe replace Bruno, like Odegaard for Ozil, like Odegaard. We see Odegaard working for the team.
I think by the end of the season, Man United fans will want him out. Because the only good thing he had going for him last season was his home form, and they can't even get that right at the minute. So I think
Man United fans have been telling me that Bruno and Rashford are better than Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli. So why would they want to get rid of him?
I don't know what Man United fans you've been talking to, but that's definitely not me.
It ain't you, Kaz. It ain't you because you don't talk like that. But there's plenty of them.
Last year, Odegaard was amazing, but before that, freaking Bruno Fernandes used to be Man United best player. Yeah, probably it was going through him. Probably, when you are the center, the focus of everything, you shine. Maybe Bruno Fernandes is that guy.
Yeah, no, he's not that guy. He's definitely not that guy. He can't even do a half turn properly, man. The guy's so predictable. It's just piss poor. I can't be bothered with him. I just can't be arsed with it. It's just annoying to even.
Here we go, Rashford 10. Rashford is better than all your wingers. I told you they existed, man. I told you they existed.
I'm not joking. In a world where Glazers are not in charge, come next summer, I want Rashford out straight away, and I'll just send to PSG when Mbappe leaves, and get Bruno out as well. Fuck the politics. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, right? Get them out. Get some proper football players in, man. Who know how to play football, because it's a jar. Because it don't matter what manager you bring in, it's going to be the same crap, Joe. They realize what players they got. They can't play they want to play. Go play defensive, counter-attack until they get their system and realize the players that are in charge of the dressing room and the politics are the ones that are crap. Get rid of them.
And Bruno's your captain, bro. This is wild. You go one down and heads dropped. Why?
I couldn't believe they made him captain.
Mental. It's insane, man. I'd rather keep Maguire captain over fucking Bruno.
I said this last year. I said this in a space last year. When Maguire ends up getting the captaincy strip, putting Bruno as a captain is setting us back 100%. But anyways, he can get stripped again next year when he leaves. Sanjeet says, rank 100 million midfielder, Rice, Judo, Enzo, Caicedo.
Jude's the one. Jude is the one. Jude is number one, man.
Yeah, I would just say
ranking them 4. Is that what he means?
I would say currently this season, for me, Jude, Rice, Caicedo, Enzo.
Yeah, I'd agree with that 4. Yeah, I'd agree with that
4. Big up Solomon for gifting 5 memberships. So if you are a member, then make sure to thank him. Omar says, Mogo, watch Dermot Sky interview. Can't believe it. I don't know. I wonder what he's saying this time around.
He's probably defending the decision.
Yeah. He is. This guy's a fraud as well. They're all frauds, man. I can't stand him. This guy, man.
He looks like a sphinx anyways. Stephen Jacob says, good day, guys from Melbourne. Staying late to watch the show. Great vibes. Come on, you Gunners. Big up yourself all the way from Melbourne, Australia. But yeah, there's one more game to kind of talk about as well. Before we do that, guys, how many likes have we on? We're on 280 likes. There's 830 of you in here. Please smash the like button. Please go subscribe to Potts 12th Football 12th Man podcast, and also Just Joe's football show. He sports Leeds, but I can't lie, Joe, for me, is one of the best content creators out there and personalities. And that's not me trying to kiss his ass because he's here. he's actually sick.
He actually said this to me in a text, man. I was poorly. It brought a tear to my eye. I was like, that means a lot, bro.
Thanks, man. I second that as well, man.
Potts more like top 10. Yeah. Yeah, about that.
I'd say top 10.
Says the same players that pulled United to third last season are suddenly now the issue. ETH is the issue. United fans' egos is why they won't admit it. No, it's just because we're bored of the same situation over and over again. Get top 4, looks all right. Try to play football, doesn't work. Chop change. Smells like another club that I know very much. Chelsea Football Club. By the way, smash a like. If you ain't smashed a like, get this to 300 to 400 likes, and I won't ask anymore. Chelsea.
Do you think he sees the season outcast? Not just your opinion, because I know you'd keep faith and I get it. But do you think he sees the end of the season?
Right now, it's hard because at the end of the day, you have to get the best out of the current group of players to get results to where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
And that's also vital. Right now, it's kind of hard to make that call, but the way it kind of seems is that the club's given Ten Hag the power to do what he wishes to get where we need to be. With a new, they tried to run a new footballing structure from last year with John Murtough, Richard Arnold coming in, no more Ed Woodward, etc., etc. So it might take a process of changing that. And if we have to suffer for it, then so be it. As long as Glazers are not here, but come the end of the season, I don't give a shit.
Wilfred Zaha might come back to haunt you as well. I think he's. I think he might be fit. I hate that team, by the way, Galascon, but I just saying like Zaha. Yeah.
Chelsea Football Club. What are we saying? They play Fulham tonight.
I think they score a few tonight. I've actually I've had a couple of quid on and this might sound mad, over 3.5 Chelsea goals. I think they might go a little bit mad tonight. I don't know, because Jackson's out of the side. Maybe more will be expected of Sterling. I'm not really keen on any of the teams that have been promoted, and I think Chelsea might do a bit of a madness and shock people tonight. But then again, they might lose 1-0. But I just think, I think they might go a bit mad.
No, I'm going for what you said later.
Fulham, sorry.
Fulham 1-0. I'm going. Chelsea are done, man. They're absolutely embarrassingly bad, and you know they've spent all this money and still don't have a striker. Bring it on, man. Keep it going. I hope it continues. I hope Poch gets sacked. I hope Chelsea in relegation battle. I can't stand them.
What is this?
I hate the fans. I hate everything about them. Get them down, man. Get them down. Keep it going.
We said it for the good of football. But listen, Cole Palmer, Caicedo today. They're gonna start. Enzo is gonna start. They have Broya back. Jackson is out. Broya's gonna play. Marco Correa played really well last game. So I think they have a chance, though. I think they have a chance. I don't think it's just all they have the ball, but they created chances last game, and I think it's not that bad for Chelsea. The results look absolutely awful.
It is bad. It is.
But that's what I mean. What I mean, the difference I think is that Chelsea, they are trying something and it's not coming off. It's the same. You remember Arsenal against when Arteta started? It's like he's trying something, but it's not working. But because Chelsea are in shambles and they spent a lot of money, it looks terrible. And let me get it straight. For the good of football, I think this project has to fail, and I said it many times.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
But it's not doom and gloom. If they get, I think if they get a couple of results their way, I think it might click. I know.
I see the way I look at Chelsea. They did beat Brighton at their gaff, and the second half was very impressive for them. Jackson's banned tonight, so it's interesting to see who goes up front, which could be. This is where it's like, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Broyo, but I don't know if Broyo is fully fit like that to make a difference. So it's a bit hard, but I think he's better. I definitely
could it be Cole Palmer and Sterling? Do you think?
I have no idea. But as long as Palmer's on the pitch with Enzo and Caicedo, I think then they've definitely got some sort of chance to dominate the game they need to. But it is away from home. And I've only seen Chelsea win at home currently against Brighton that looked impressive. I don't know if they're going to have a crappy away record or this is I don't know. So I'm not going to write them off because Fulham have also been bad. They ain't been the greatest at all.
Yeah,
so I think it's, if anything, you might think of a draw the way I can see it. In my opinion,
I think Chelsea win. Honestly, I think like people are saying, Sterling maybe in false nine, Cole Palmer. I don't know. I think they might. I don't think
they win because I think Fulham are good. Fulham are good. Fulham aren't bad. I don't know, but I think Chelsea, all these injuries that they have, and they need they need players back, suspensions and stuff like that. Even now, Chilwell is injured. Now it's a hamstring injury. I don't know how long it's going to take him to come back. He's not looking good in terms of injury and after that much money, but at least they have something going for them, which is a style of play, but they want results. Because with that form, it might be a relegation. They're 15th. 6 games in, they have 5 points. If they lose today,
Luton Town's 1 point behind them.
Exactly. Imagine if Chelsea don't win today or lose. It's 7 games, 5 points. This is literally.
I think Pellegrin's going to have a great game. This is where you see boys against men potentially. Because see, Pellegrini, this is what I say. This is the difference between experience and everything else. Pellegrini he could be the guy that stops everything going forward for them. You know what I mean? Like that experience. I say Fulham definitely got a decent outfit. It's just when is it going to click for Fulham themselves? I like who did they play last game? I think they just about beat Norwich in the cup. They drew against Crystal Palace away. They just about beat Luton Town at their own gaff. They got smashed by Man City the game before that. You know, they got a lucky point or a good point against them, Arsenal. You know, they haven't exactly been great.
No.
It's true.
Chelsea win.
I agree, man.
Bookmark it.
Joe's going for it. Joe's like,
Chelsea
not
win.
taking any other result.
Yeah. I think they win comfortably tonight, which is a bit wild, I know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I guess we'll see.
So we're gonna might as well wrap up there. Make sure you go to Mo's just about to go live. So everyone that's here, go to Mo's channel to hear some more Mo Gender. And he thinks that we're not listening, but we are. So don't worry. Everyone that if you hear something brazy,
I'm
make
ripping at Man United. Anthony's back, and we'll see how it is.
Yeah. Anyways, make sure you send it. So make sure you head over there as well as much as Saeed TV. Here's a clip from Monts getting stressed. So and Monts has just produced a video as well.
You're just fucking up the game. They're fucking up the Premier League. VAR, if it can't be used properly, get rid of it. I just fuck up and you got fucking robbed. Yo, I swear to, yo. I'm not even gonna lie. That was the difference. That game was the difference.
It looks like he's gonna cry. If you want to go watch that, it's in the comments in the pin, man. Big up, man, and make sure you subscribe to Joe. Make sure you subscribe to Potts in the description. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later. And I think Dan Potts is about to go live soon as well. So yeah,
6 p.m. man.
6 p.m.